925thebeat.com.
Drerawka, Unrestricted, the Rawk The Mic segment. A segment where we sit down with Utah artists, get to know them, and even play their music. Today, I got a very special guest, somebody that I've known for a long time, and if you've been anywhere in the lake, you know this man's name. Enee-One.
Wow, man. I appreciate it, man. Super. I am like really flattered, really humbled. I appreciate the opportunity to be up here. It's been a long time coming.
I got to admit, I'm surprised to see your face in the studio because you're very critical over radio in the past. You've been very critical over radio programming in general, and I think it's needed. That's why I'm excited to play your new single, Fee for Freedom. Now,
thank you.
What is the origins of Enee-One?
Wow. So going back to, I used to be a graffiti writer back in the day, and I was a graffiti writer. I was a break dancer. And I was always super competitive. And so the name Enee-One really stemmed from battling. And so and anyone can get it anytime, anywhere. So it's always this competitive nature. Is that as an MC or as a graph? It was both. Yeah. It was both. Graph, I wasn't anything decent at graffiti art. I got busted like 4 times in 4 months when I was like a young teenager and such. Like, yeah, there's some funny stories behind that. So like my grandmother would always joke with me and say, like, you know, there's a saying where of NBC, which has never been caught, but Ray, you are ABC, already been caught. And I'm like, damn, bars running the family.
Yeah. Did you grow up with grandma?
Yes.
In Salt Lake?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What high school did you go to?
I went to Granger.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yeah.
The old Granger.
The old Granger.
Yeah.
The old Granger.
What do you think about the new Granger?
It looks like a freaking college, man. It's massive.
Got dorms and stuff. We had a gig. Me and my friend, we had a gig in there, and we go into the main student hall.
Mm-hmm.
There's lights and LEDs. I'm like, man, you guys are.
It's crazy.
Very lucky.
It's crazy. Like I try to go over there to use like the football field with my son, or even like see if I can go in and like sneak in and use the basketball court, and then everything is on lock. Like it's like, no, this isn't the old days. You can't go. You can't just use our track.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I pay you? No. I'm like, your money's not good here.
Did grandma encourage you to make music?
Music's run in my family. Yeah, it's been in my family. So my Aunt Carolyn sang with a group called Platinum Plus. Funny thing is, another local MC, veteran MC, Chaotic, and Pell, their dad was in the same group with my Aunt Carolyn. Whoa. And back in the day with Platinum Plus, they opened up for the Commodores back at the Salt Palace.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually just reached out to Chaotic. I see him getting more active on social media. So
he's working on new music, man. His pen is still flowing, man. It's good to see.
I want to say I was first introduced to you. It might have been MySpace.
Probably.
And I see you, and I'm like, man, this dude's a spitter. This dude goes hard. And then I see you on stage, and you're sweating, dripping with sweat. The bald head, dripping with sweat. And
it's my weight loss program.
You always Triple Chin Music.
Yep.
You always bring that energy. Now, what inspired that? What inspired you to pick up a mic, pick up a pen?
It was therapeutic for me, man. So growing up, like I grew up, I didn't meet my real dad until I was 14, and so from 0 to 14, I always had a lot of questions. Like I'd see like my aunts and uncles, or I'd see my grandma and grandpa, but I'd see my mom, and my mom's by herself, or has a boyfriend, and then that changes, and then that changes. So I always had questions about, okay, where's the other half of me? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? So I always had questions. And so you could say I struggled with like, depression or mental health and whatnot. And there wasn't a lot of outlets back in the day. So like back then, we didn't have a hip hop radio station. Mm. And so my outlet was, my uncle Brisk, he and I would always watch like Yo MTV Raps. Mm. And so I would just see how, okay, this is one way to express yourself creatively. You're not fighting, you're not getting beat up, you're not beating anybody else up, but it's a way for you to handle yourself creatively. So I started writing poetry and started freestyling like really when I was 6, when I was my son's age. Wow. So I've been writing songs since I was really like 12, 13.
Do you remember these songs? Have you ever laid them, like recorded them?
You know, it's funny. I still have the cassette tape that the first Pause mixtape that Brisk and I did probably when I think I was like 7 or 8 years old.
You have it.
I have it. It's in my drawer at my house.
Now
Before I ever became anyone, when I was a kid, I used to always play with the rap name of Raymond E. Raymond is my full legal name. I go by Ray for short, but I go by Raymond and then E. And back then, I had no idea where the E came from, but lo and behold, now it's E is anyone. That's how I spell it with the E. But it's funny.
You've always known. You've always had this thing where I'm gonna get it, and I'm not scared of anybody.
No.
Were you always that confident? What gave you the confidence to be like, anyone can get it?
The thing is, it's just fighting for yourself at the end of the day. You know, you're defending your ground. And I've always, it's at the end of the day, it's you versus you. Like you're either gonna beat yourself or you're gonna lose to yourself. You know.
You mentioned and you kind of just gloss over that your cousin is a legend. Or would you say uncle?
He's my uncle.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Your uncle's a legend.
See, we're closer. We're more like brothers, to be honest, because we grew up in the same household. So, but biologically, yeah, I'm his nephew.
You Latino?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say usually the uncle's younger than the nephew.
Right.
I got plenty of uncles. All my tios are.
That's funny.
They're younger than me.
That's hilarious.
How was it seeing him grow?
It's inspirational, dude, because I've watching Brisk, because you could also say in hip hop there's a term universal b-boy, where somebody who has partaken in all of the elements of hip hop. So before Brisk became a DJ, before he became the beat maker, producer that a lot of people know him to be as today, he was a graffiti writer. He was a graffiti artist, graffiti legend, SADK, and he used to run Function Hip Hop Shop back in the day. But no, we've always had, like, this form of music was our therapy. It was therapeutic for us to, create music and create art.
I think it's important to show that you can do it, especially you being a father.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does your kids think about you releasing a song now in 2024, "Fee for Freedom"?
I always try to get my son to freestyle. I always try to get him to goof off and rap. It's not their thing, but they think it's pretty cool. They think it's pretty. I mean, while they were growing up, I kind of took a step back from the scene. Like, I still wrote and I still did verses every now and then, but I didn't make it like my priority as far as music goes. I just kind of wanted to be more focused on them and try to help raise them and put them in the best position. And but watching them see me do stuff creatively, they enjoy it. It's new for them because they've never really seen me in this element. Like, they've never seen me perform live. I mean, they've seen me freestyle a couple times, like open mics and such. Yeah. But like when I posted this song last week, my son shared it with all his friends on Snapchat and such. So he's trying to promote it as much as he can. And he says, "Yo, go check out this song. My dad went off." And I'm like, it melts my heart,
Yeah, man. I mean, it means a lot, man, when your kids, because our kids look up to us,
mm-hmm.
and they absorb everything we put out there.
And I want him to have like some real, like, substance, like, content wise for what he listens to.
Do you mentioned that back in the day, mental health wasn't a thing, right? It was taboo to say your feelings. It
was hard.
A man if you cried. How do you handle that with your kids now in 2024?
I'm open about everything. I'm an open book. But growing up, like, when I was married to their mom, I wasn't an open book. I would write about it, but I wouldn't talk about it. And that it helped me to a point. I had this stating in, like, when I would go to therapy of 70%. Like, I always felt like I was at 70% because the other 30% I had no idea, because I grew up not knowing who the hell my dad was. I mean, I met him when I was 14, but he's been in and out, like, I'm older now. I will say that. I'm not going to throw my age out there because all you battle rappers out there are going to cut my throat with that stuff.
They're all old too. Stop.
That is true. That is true. Stop the cap, right? Anyway, I'm in my 40s, so my lower 40s. I call that the honor roll, 4.0 and a half.
Oh man.
But no, I always said that felt like I was underdeveloped. Like as a man, like I struggled with it, and it did until I started going to like therapy and actually talking about like the root of my why. Start talking about my whys and my why nots, like what is going like, and actually figuring out how can I handle these issues. Now that I'm older, I'm not afraid to talk about anything. I'm an open book. Like I'll talk to my kids about, the ups and downs of my relationships, like what I've done good in life, what I've done bad. Like I don't want them to grow up with having questions about everything. I want them to have answers and be prepared.
I think that's a lesson that any father can learn.
Mm-hmm. Vulnerability is not a curse. A lot of people think being vulnerable is being weak. A lot of people see tears as a form of weakness, and they're not. I feel like tears make you stronger. Mm-hmm. I mean, you go to the gym and you lift weights, like they're a form of sweat. That's why they're related.
Going through that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I come to this mindset because I grew up the same way, right? Where it's like, especially if you grew up in as a minority and as a person of color, it's very taboo to talk about your feelings. It's really taboo to question authority too, right? You don't question grandma, you don't question dad, you don't question mom, you don't question tia, auntie, anybody.
Yeah, you got the. I mean, the belt is 2 seconds away. You know
exactly, or the ashtray,
the spatula.
But I've come to the realization that, man, we're all gonna leave. We all got an expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
So who cares if I cry? Who cares if I make a mistake?
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And time is short. Even if you live to 100 years, there's a movie. I forget what the movie was, but maybe it's 75 Summers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murphy says that. He's like, in a lifetime, on average, a human has 75 summers. Think about that.
That's so nuts, man.
And 40 of yours is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
40 of mine's gone. Like, what are we gonna do for the rest of this time? Are we gonna suppress our feelings? Are we gonna suppress the way we feel? Are we gonna hold our tongue? Are we gonna be respectful, tell her how we feel, and try to be a better person and show our kids that it's okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot to it, man.
Absolutely.
Drerawka, Rawk The Mic. I got special guest Enee-One up here, one of the dopest MCs to ever grab a mic in Utah.
Thank you.
We're gonna be playing your latest single, "Fee for Freedom," coming up here shortly. Now, what does "Free for Freedom" mean?
So the song itself it's very, very it's political. It takes it back to like that Public Enemy era, like the Chuck D era. It's political. Like I got some things that I'm aiming at, a former president. It's just a mindset. Like, everybody's dying for something, and a lot of people feel free and a lot of people don't feel free. And a lot of people feel suppressed. They feel held back by something, and a lot of people feel held back politically by the government and whatnot. And what's the fee for freedom? I'm in this song. I talk about police brutality. I confront racism. I'm talking about a lot of stuff, and it's stuff that's it's important for people to hear now. It's all because we got to fight for something. Like, it goes back to like you versus you, and what are you fighting for? What are you teaching your kids? What are you teaching your children? Like, are you gonna sit back and let the system roll you over and beat you down, or are you going to fight back and own your foundation?
I think it's needed, bro.
Much needed.
Is this going to be off of a bigger project?
Mm-hmm. No, I got a new album I'm working on. It's a collaborative project with this beat maker from North Carolina named Drugs Beats. it's pretty serious, man. He's Grammy nominated. He worked on Dr. Dre's Compton album. Like, he's worked with 50 Cent and G Unit. He's worked with Ludacris. Like, he's worked with some pretty big names. He's done stuff for Exhibit, and I mean, I don't mean to name drop or anything, but outside of myself, like, I would do yourself a favor and look up Drugs Beats on Apple Music or Spotify, whatever your streaming platform is. The dude makes amazing music, and I'm honored to be, to say that I'm next to that, and you can say I'm next in line,
Well, you spit. I mean, you can spit with those guys, so I'm not. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I think it's dope that you're working with an accredited producer. One thing that frustrates me is that I have no way to check out your music.
We'll change that.
I was on Apple. I'm like, yo, anyone?
I know. I know.
While we have the dope song with KRS-One Radio, we don't.
You have the remix. You have the remix. You have the Domingo remix, the original version, the album version that was produced by Brisk, and that's, in my opinion, that's the best version of the song. I still have a link to my original album, Say Goodnight, that I do sell. So, I mean, you can reach out to me on social media or whatnot, and I'll text you the link and make it happen. But I am going to be re-releasing that record here soon. I'm hoping to have them released in sequence.
So what happened, man? You were streaming.
I was streaming. I was on a label, and I was signed to a label. I'm not gonna throw names out or anything like that, because I don't have any like bad feelings or anything like that. But when you're dealing with like digital distributors, they have what's called a takedown, and if you don't own all your masters or any of that stuff, like, they decide to take your record down, you're kind of SOL, man. Like, you gotta be creative. You gotta create links and sell them separately.
Right out the trunk, right out your DMs.
And that's essentially that, and that's why, like, the Feet for Freedom song, I haven't put it out on. It's not on Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal or anything yet, because I'd like to make some money off of it. And so I ask people on social media. I'm like, there's SoundCloud, there's Bandcamp. Like, what's the best route for independent artists to go for it? Because I used to sell CDs out the trunk.
That's what I was gonna ask next. Is this a new lane for you? Are you just now getting into the whole digital streaming and doing it yourself?
For myself, absolutely.
So maybe if there's somebody out there that can give some help, I guess maybe.
I'd appreciate it. I would love some damn help, because it's all me. Like, when I posted the song on Spotify, I did all the spamming myself. So, like, if you've gotten 3-4 messages from me on Facebook, I apologize, but I'm not sorry at the same time. Like, I'm sorry with no apology. So, like, I've blasted it on Facebook, Instagram, text message. I'm working on YouTube and TikTok now. So, like,
it's important, man. In 2024, man, content is important.
Exactly.
I would love for you to make the rounds on the podcast circuit here in Utah. I would love for you to sit down with our creators here, tell your story, talk a little bit more about what you've been through. I'm down.
I would love to. I would love to, because I feel like we all have a story to tell. Absolutely. My a good friend of mine has this really dope tattoo on her back. It says, "We are all stories in the end." And I was with her when she got this tattoo, and it's always stuck with me, just because it's like, that stuff is so heavy. Like, I'm like, if you listen to the way I write and listen to, like, my content, like, I try to, my stuff is it's very substance heavy. Like, it's not substance abuse, it's substance heavy. It's food for thought. And like I'm trying to plant something.
Absolutely. What we get with you is that substance. You're going to take away a message when you listen to your music, and that's needed.
I appreciate that.
And I think it's awesome, which is why I want to be able to stream it.
You will be right now. It's on Bandcamp. You can buy it for $1.60 or more if you like, and you can stream it as much as you want. in time, I'm probably here within the next couple weeks. I'm gonna have it on everything else.
Love it. I got Enee-One up here. We're gonna be playing his latest single, "Fee for Freedom." But before that, I mentioned his name earlier, a legend, KRS-One. How was it creating that song with him? How was it working with the legend?
Radio. You guys should play that song too.
Oh, maybe.
I'm saying there's no cuss words on it, so it is radio friendly.
Going back to substance, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those. KRS-One is one of those artists, even down for you with Fee for Freedom. There's times where I have to re-listen to it for me to catch it, to catch the message, to be like, that's what he's talking
I want you to I want people to rewind instead of fast forward.
I love that.
No.
That's it means a lot, right? We need that substance. So how was it working with the legend?
KRS-One was, what was dope is like we drove out to California, like Brisk, myself, Finale, we drove out to California and we were in the studio with him. And what's crazy is I paid KRS-One for one verse. I paid him for 16 bars. And when he showed up to the studio, he shows up by himself. He didn't bring like an entourage or bodyguards. Like we were all expecting him to be Hollywood and kick us out of the studio while he's doing his part. Like, no, he's in there. He's mingling with us, conversating with us, giving us like different ideas and such. Like when he walks into the studio, like all the lights are off and he's like, it is dark, and now the light has arrived in the form of KRS-One, the Blastmaster. It's just like Brisk and I are like, we're all like shaking we're all like shaking because like we grew up watching Yo MTV Raps. Like we grew up on By Any Means Necessary and My Philosophy and like those videos, and so for us, being in the studio with them, and I always say that's like the Pope hanging out with Jesus. You know, like that's the God of rap. And when I was doing that first album, that album Say Goodnight, and I was talking about features, and people were talking about like, well, who are you gonna do? And I'm like, as an MC, I've always wanted to challenge myself and write next to the best. And I'm like KRS-One's in concert. I'm gonna go watch KRS perform. It was at Park City at Club Axis back in the day, and you know I caught him on stage, and I just went up and I started just asking him. I says, dude, I'm like, how do I get you on rec? He's like, yo, just call me. I'm like, just call you? Like, so he put me in contact with his manager, and I negotiated the entire deal myself, and yeah. I think we made a classic record, man. I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you're a KRS-One fan, you should have this song. And if you like me, great. If you don't like me, great. You got some great KRS vocals. But what I was going back to is a lot of people look at KRS as being very like arrogant. Like in my experience with him, he was actually really like humble and generous and like actually really kind. Because I paid him for one verse, and he gave me 2 16s, a chorus, a bridge, name drops. He gave me probably like 3.5 minutes worth of material when I only paid him for really 48 seconds of material. Wow. Like he took time and he wrote. Like he showed up with lyrics written. Like he called me the night before the session, like complimenting Brisk on the beat. And just asked me for what the concept of is, and I was talking about the concept of radio, and he's like, word. He's like, I got you. Like he showed up with with lyrics written, like I could see like where he has like stuff scribbled out, stuff written over. Like he actually took time and invested in it. I was expecting KRS-One to just come in and freestyle some stuff off the top of my head. I was really just paying him for his name, and he didn't give me like is just his name. He gave me like a real stamp of approval.
I think it's important to tell those stories, right? Because some people might have a certain vision of KRS-One, and your experience was totally different. That's dope, man. That's hip hop.
100%. And the thing is he just doesn't collaborate with anybody. And the fact that like he saw something in me, and you know, being a member of Temple of Hip Hop and all that, like I've seen him a few times since, and we've talked a couple times ever since that interaction, and he's given me pointers, he's given me advice. Like it, it's an experience that it's very, very hard to duplicate, because it's like when if people ask me like, you ever put music out again? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, what if you don't? I'm like, it's all right. I did a song with KRS-One.
Right.
He's the top 5, bro. Top 5 should be top 5, maybe higher than that on some people's catalogs.
I don't argue it.
Yeah.
Although I sided with Nelly in the beef.
You have a point. You have a point, because he said, KRS says, don't buy Nelly's album on June 25th, and then Nelly goes out and he goes through it, sells triple platinum, because all them girls don't know who KRS-One is. Like, what radio station is this?
Yeah. It was different eras, right? Like
two completely different eras, and that battle was judged off different metrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Nelly said, ew, number 1. He was number 1
at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different metrics. What do you judge in the battle on?
But you can't take anything from him. You can't take anything from KRS-One either.
Yeah.
Right? Without KRS-One, we wouldn't have Nelly.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you wouldn't have a large. There's an island of rappers that wouldn't exist without KRS-One.
And that's why I think it's important for you, somebody that has done a lot and laid down a foundation in the lake and has a name, especially with the vets. We know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But without certain people, especially like Brisk, man, without Brisk, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have. We wouldn't have a lot of the opportunities we have.
The graffiti scene, beat makers, like there's a lot of DJs, like Brisk is he's a serious dude.
He's a real one.
He's
man.
passionate.
It's Drerawka, Rawk The Mic segment. Unrestricted is the show. I got Enee-One. So back in the day, it used to be MC Enee-One.
Mm-hmm.
So MC Enee-One.
It's either or.
Okay.
When I put stuff online, I usually do Enee-One, or I'll do Enee-One music, or I'll do Triple Chin music. Triple Chin music is my publishing.
Yeah.
But I usually just go by Enee-One. Enee-One, MC Enee-One. It doesn't matter, because nobody really goes by MC anymore. But if I give myself like a fat gold chain like Big Daddy Kane used to wear, then I could wear it. Then I could wear MC.
We're gonna be playing his latest single, "Be for Freedom," here soon. Now, I think the last time I seen you at an event was Mic Masters, Utah's premier rap battle league. What's your thoughts on Mic Masters?
I'm a big fan of those guys, man. I think Nate Gabino Grimes, no M. I'm saying that just for him to be. He's gonna give me like, he's gonna laugh like, okay, Dag. That's what he says on Run It Back. I'm a huge fan of what they're doing, because I think what Nate is doing is he's making a big push to try and unify all elements, of hip hop. I know like one of the next events, he has like a producer battle, like a beat maker battle. Like he's trying to incorporate live DJs into the mix. That way, it's not just a big acapella battle rap session. He's doing a really good job. A really, really, really good job, I think, and watching him operate from just like the business standpoint of it, like not only of him as an MC himself, but the business side of that he's doing. Like he's brought, in the last like year and a half, he's brought some big heavy hitters out here, and he's really putting our state on the map. And now that he's starting to incorporate more of our music into it and whatnot, it's really dope what him and Hoodie J are doing.
Absolutely, man. It takes all of us to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
Utah, we've been dope for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've been dope, but now, and I'm telling,
we've been dope, and we've been our own worst enemy. We've
elaborate on that.
We don't know how to unify. We've never known how to unify. We act like high schools, like oh, you're at Granger, we can't mess with you. It's Granger over here. Like we have that type of attitude, or you're a Ute, I'm a Cougar, or whatnot. Like it's just we handle stuff really very, very, very stupidly. And in the past, like like we shouldn't be competing with ourselves, because you know Utah at the end of the day, like compare to Utah to LA or the Bronx or Brooklyn or any other like really, really big city, nobody takes Utah serious. Nobody takes us serious. And we have some of the best writers and like MCs in this country. Producers in this
video creators.
100%. 100%. We just need to execute our mindset differently and unify and learn from them.
Lead by example.
100%.
If you want to be unified, we got to unify.
Yeah.
If you want to get opportunities, you got to give opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hold all the stuff in your hands and expect to be able to reach out and grab something else and grab a different opportunity. Yeah. You got to release some stuff out of your hands to be able to help.
Yep.
To be able to take.
Yep.
Right?
Stop being selfish.
That's what it comes down to. Now, with that being said, when are you going to jump into the ring?
I've done a couple Mike Masters battles. I've done a couple of them.
Since they've been back?
Uh-huh. I've done a couple of them. I've done their draft stuff. Like, I've done a couple of them. I mean, they were, I'll say I won, but they were okay. I'll be honest, I held back a little bit on my opponents. Like, I'm still getting, I'm from the freestyle era and from the era where we were rapping over beats. So I'm a student in that format. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people see me as a veteran and all that stuff. I'm like in that format, I'm very young.
What's the biggest difference between showing up to a cypher, battling the dude in front of you, versus preparing for a battle for the last 3 months?
For me, the mindset is different, because like I'll have 2 months. It's like training for a fight. For 2 months, I'll have to sit and listen. Like, say if I'm battling you, I gotta look up Drerawka, and listen. I gotta study your music, whatever videos you have, like research any content you have, and I gotta pick you apart for a month and a half. Like, you need to be like, you're my college course. I gotta study you, and then I gotta write about you creatively. Then I gotta take time to memorize. It's like you're almost like a stalker.
That's true.
You're almost like a stalker. I mean, the first dude the first dude I battled, and I had a lot of fun with this, because he had the kid had a crime record or whatnot, and so I had a shirt made with his mugshot on it. And I wore it at the battle, and all of my verses were like about his, like, were about what his crime was. Like, I mean, it was kind of bullyish, but it's what it is.
You're a big guy too, so that's even more intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like a junior Russ.
Oh, see? He had long hair. He was cute. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If he didn't have like a thick mustache and a beard, and to throw some lipstick, man, on him, shoot. That don't sound right.
No, it doesn't. Do you feel like you've seen the scene grow in many different ways? How do you feel like it was when you first started versus today? Do you feel like we're going in the direction of a better Utah? Do you feel like there are some things that we need to change? Obviously, unity is one of them, but do you think we're unifying a little bit more?
I think we're getting better at the unity aspect of it. I think we can. I still think we can do better. Mm-hmm. There's always room for growth. The one thing I would like to see, like, at these Mike Masters battles, I want to see a b-boy circle, like, and I think that's something that's down the road. Like, I would like to see them incorporate the b-boy scene more often.
Yeah, man, it's gonna get there.
DJ battle. I mean, we gotta have a producer battle coming up. I'd like to see them do some DJ battles.
Have you tapped in with Minute After 8 Ghost?
I've heard of him. He and I have not had a chance to speak, though.
I would love to hear you on one of his beats.
No, I'm down.
A dope collaboration. I would love to see. Do we have anything in the future with Brisk?
Yes, we do.
You want to drop anything? Is there any dates? What do we see in 2024?
I'm looking to I want to have my full length project with drugs done by the. I want to have that out, but I've been working on that for a few years now. To be honest, I want to have that done and released. I'm hoping by October, November.
Okay.
Time frame. Like I want to have like a good 12, 13 songs. I want to put. It's been a long time since I put out a full project.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't put out a full project since Say Goodnight, and that was 2008. Sorry for cussing. That was 2007, 2008. Mm-hmm. That was when my son was born, and this album, like I've gone through a lot of growth, just as a man, and I want to talk about all of that on this project. So there's a lot of like vulnerability, a lot of blood, a lot of tears that are gonna get painted on this canvas. And I just want it to be executed properly. And
I hope you don't disappear on us. I hope you give us at least something in between then and now.
Oh, I'm going to. I have that. I have a group project that I'm working on with my friend D Strong. We have a group called the Last Kind Crew. They're originally based out of LA.
I'm excited.
But I'm at a state like creatively and like personally where I have no reason to hold back anymore. So yeah, if people want to work on music, just call me, text me.
I love it. Now I want to jump into a segment called This or That.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you two options. You got to pick one.
Awesome.
All right. Pizza or tacos?
Shoot. Depends on the day of the week for me. For now, the mindset I'm in, let's go tacos.
I'm with it. Nelly or KRS-One?
KRS-One.
Boom bap or trap?
Boom bap.
Solo or group studio session?
For me right now, solo.
Do you light a candle? Are the lights dark? Are you the light that comes in?
Yeah, I got Teddy Pendergrass playing in the background. It's just me and my pen, baby.
Love TKO.
Yep. Catch the hook. Say goodnight.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Oh man. I feel like this is Drink Champs. I need to take a drink. I'm just playing. For me, I have reasons. I have pros and cons. I have reasons for picking both. Like, in my opinion, I think Jay-Z won the battle. In my opinion, because he ended up being Nas's boss because he signed him to Def Jam. Like, he ended up hiring him. Like, all right, you're gonna work for me now. In my opinion, the psychology, that's to me, I feel like Jay-Z won the battle. Musically, who do I listen to more? Probably Nas.
Really?
I think I respect Nas more as a thoughtful MC.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Jay-Z doing a song like I Gave You Power, where he's rapping about being the gun and all of the stuff. So like I would say Nas has probably inspired me more as a writer, because a lot of his stuff is so intricate and so detailed, where he pays attention to every single word. Yeah. Where I don't think Jay-Z pays attention to each and every word.
I think the common thing with this, whenever I have this question and this debate comes up, I always see the MCs going with Nas, but the consumer goes with Jay-Z.
Jay-Z's more radio friendly. I think if you were to do a versus, I think Jay-Z wins the verses.
I think Jay-Z can.
Jay-Z's a better Jay-Z's a better performer.
That's kind of where I'm like, whoa. What?
There's pros and cons, but you can go. I can go either way with those guys.
I think Takeover was that joint though.
Takeover was hard. Yeah. Takeover was hard, bro. Like, and to think about it, like, look at everybody that Jay-Z went at. He went after Mobb Deep. He went after Nas. Like, he really in the entire battle, he gave Nas what, 2 verses, maybe 3 verses. Mm-hmm. Nas gave him an entire song, like, so, and then Jay-Z ended up hiring him when he put out Hip Hop Is Dead.
I love that Nas is still putting out records.
He's putting out great music, man. He's putting out great music.
Yeah. All right, so you will say Nas, but you also love Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have reasons for. I mean, it depends as to what category.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have ways of picking reasons to pick Jay-Z, and I have reasons to pick Nas. If I'm just critiquing music to music, I will go Nas just based off of music. If I'm going off of like business, Jay-Z.
I dig it. Car or truck?
Being that I'm a car salesman.
But you rolled up in the truck.
I did roll up in a truck. I have a car. Well, I used to have a car, and now I have a truck, and I have an SUV. What's the situation? I'm so vague. I'm so vague, bro. I'm so vague. Where's the tequila shot at? I'm just playing. Nah, I'll go truck.
Okay. Road trip or plane ride?
Road trip.
When's the last time you went on a road trip?
This last July, I took my son and some of his teammates. We drove to Vegas for an AAU tournament.
Dope.
And it was cool. It was myself being the road manager, and they were the teenage sports stars. You know.
Did you roast them on the way, just freestyling?
I tried to.
You with the braces back in the back.
I had that. I had two of the kids rapping against each other. My son wouldn't get in on it. He wouldn't. I mean, he would crack jokes. Mm-hmm. He's like me. He's a smart ass. He would crack jokes, but he wouldn't get in on the freestyling. But the other two kids, I had them trying to rap. It was fun. One of them tried to write on like a verse, and they were just being goofy. It was fun. It was fun though.
Winter or summer?
Oh, summer.
Boxing or MMA?
I'm a fan of both. I love both. But going back to my childhood, my grandfather boxed Golden Gloves. My uncle runs State Street Boxing Gym. I'm gonna go boxing. Boxing is the beginning.
Yep. And your logo definitely Everlast feels. And I love that.
Yeah, it was boxing. I mean, if you can find the physical copy of Say Goodnight, like there's a dude inside of a boxing ring. It's very, very boxing influenced.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go. I would go boxing before. I would pick boxing over MMA.
All right, last one here. 1990s or 2000s hip hop?
90s.
Without hesitation.
90s.
All right, Enee-One. What I want to do now, let's jump into your single. We'll come back. We'll hit your socials. All right.
Please.
So go ahead, introduce your single.
All right. So this is my new single. It is titled "Fee for Freedom," produced by Drugs Beats from North Carolina. Listen closely. Pay attention to the lyrics.
Triple Ch
Please and thank you.
Let's get into it.
It's grown man food for thought talk. Real instructions laid out. USA, take a walk. A recipe of balance through arts and talents to wake up these breaks, stop feeling invalid. Been angry for a change, start feeding the challenge like a 357 for the 365. Magnums for these calendar dates like cadavers. Zipper red passengers don't pause for their pampers.
Drerawka, Rawk The Mic segment. That was Fee for Freedom from my man Enee-One. Now, Enee-One, I want you to hit your socials. Where can we DM you to get the album link?
So find me on Facebook, Ray Martinez. You can find me on Instagram. It's Ray-Enee-One Martinez. Enee-One on my Instagram is spelled ENEE and then the number 1 hyphen Martinez. My Bandcamp is Enee-One Music. So it's ENEEONE music.bandcamp.com. You can find me there. My phone always rings. I'm going to throw my phone number out here, 801-664-1946. You can get at me for verses, or if you're in the market for a car. I'm at Axio Automotive in Sandy, 90th South, 2nd West.
If you buy a car, maybe he'll spit a verse for you.
Absolutely.
yeah, man, go check them out. Go support anyone. I love it when guys that were doing it way back in the day are still here and they still got bars, and you did that. You got it. Check out the full interview right now at 925thebeat.com.